All right, welcome everyone. 6:32 p.m. We are calling to order the April meeting of the Hood River Valley Parks and Recreation District Board of Directors. We just did a 30-minute tour of Parkdale Park and are coming back in to do regular business. So the first thing we'll do is check if there's any comments from the general public. So we do have a few members of the public here. Do either of you want to make any public comment?
No, it's just I appreciate the invite to the meeting and the survey of the grounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna have it.
There's a self-serving plug here. My wife and I have Rarity Gardens. A peony farm up here.
Oh, cool.
When peonies are in bloom, since we don't sell the flowers, people are, bring a bucket. Take some flowers we want. Watch for that, we love sharing.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's your address?
That's right. This is called Rarity. Catches it all.
Kelsey, you don't say much, but when you do, that's awesome.
Is there anyone online?
We do have one person online, and if you would like to do public comment, just go ahead and raise your hand, and I will, click the allow you to talk. Rachel. And I do not see a public or raised hand, so we will, go ahead and move on.
Okay, 3 minutes. I wanted to call out an item here to make sure that it is documented correctly based on the direction of the board. So under item 3, this is recapping our discussion about the difference in fees between in-district and out-of-district patrons for the pool and for other programs. And I wanted to make sure that we have it correct, that the word we should use is a differential between the two. So with aquatics, that there's a 50% differential between in-district and out-of-district. And that for other programs like youth sports, it's a 20% differential. There's some confusion. There've been some people in the public that are confused between maybe differential and increase, and making sure we all have the same understanding as we get it documented what was intended. So my understanding that was that we were talking about differential, like a $5 swim admission. If you have a 50% differential, would mean that the out of district would be 50% more than the $5. So at $250, you get $750.
Mhm.
Is that the understanding that everyone else had when we had this discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Was there some feedback that was some confusion, just so I?
Well, one version of the minutes had increase versus differential, and so I would make sure I had the right understanding that that's what we were thinking.
Okay.
And then I also just know from talking with like other people in the community, different words are being used, and so making sure we all have the same understanding. Okay, great. So I think the minutes reflect that in
Yep.
item 3, saying 50% differential and 20% differential. Great. Did anyone else have anything on the minutes? Okay. So we can entertain a motion to.
Before a motion to approve the minutes, as written, reflecting the differential.
A second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. So speaking of rates, here's the very good example of the differential. And so, the board gave the direction, for general admission rates, and this is just a portion of the general admission rates. This was also include like our punch cards and, monthly passes and that sort of thing. I just didn't list the whole spreadsheet and everything there, but it's just a good example. But at our new pricing structure, we'd be set at the standard rate, 50% above the district in district rates. And then we are also changing it to where we're really requiring people to show proof of residency. We worked on the honor system for a long time, and now we're gonna be checking residency and such as people come in. But these changes are usually done in September. So usually after shutdown is when we move forward with this. There's nothing set in stone that says that we do it at that point. We just usually do it at that time because we kind of consider that our new season started. We shut down for a couple of weeks around Memorial Day. and do a bunch of cleanup stuff at the pool and such, and then when we reopen, it's kind of the new season and such. So our customers have been used to that, but now we were talking about, we have actually, will be our second year doing it. We just started doing 2 shutdowns a year. It's the water polo team especially requested for a long time that we don't do a full 2 weeks right when their season was starting. And we've changed it to shutting down a week in September and a week here in May. And that's when we put the pool covers on and take the pool covers off. One other kind of seasonal change is right when school gets out. And so this year it's June 15th, which is a Monday, which is the main day that we kind of flip the switch, and that's when summer schedule starts. And so we start running more hours in the day and on the weekends, and the swim team goes to practicing in the mornings instead of in the afternoons, and that's when everything kind of flips over to the summer schedule. And so we were just trying to figure out the best time to do that. I talked with staff. They said that they can do it at any time, but they said that probably the new summer season makes the most sense of doing it at June 15th if we were to do it a little bit earlier. And we just thought that rather than, because we've said that this is something that we're going to be doing to the public, that rather than like the September date was kind of an arbitrary date that we could look at doing it, you know, at the change of the season, but we wanted just to have it done when it makes sense. We didn't want to just like flip the switch when the board told us about it in February or something like
Is
that.
there any assumption or anticipation on how much more that would generate over the course of the summer to do it then versus September?
I don't.
I mean, in the ballpark?
I mean, not much, ballpark, $3,000-4,000
More to up it.
to up it earlier. Yeah, it's not so much I think the revenue side is kind of the fairness of the district people getting the other rate. I think that's mainly why the board, because we weren't making a lot on this, so.
Right. And it's not affecting people in district, it's not going up much, obviously, so it's
No,
basically, it's
no,
just affecting out of district.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
yeah, the difference is about 5% or so that we between 5 and 7% on for the in-district rates.
So 5 to 7% of our patrons are out of district? Is that what you're-
No. 5 to 7% of an increase over last year's prices, or we're actually over the current year's prices where we're at right now.
My concern is in going out and asking for, you know, a bond. The optics of increasing any increase to in-district residents. Given what we're asking for, given the levy, absent that, you know, I think that there's some compelling reasons. But I would be in favor of September or not.
I'd say the flip side of that though is a lot of the voters are asking us to charge those people more out of people from out. And so if you're saying maybe keep the in district the same, but just do change the out of district.
Yeah, that would be a way to do it. The drawback is like, oh, we have to print another sign, but right, we could go almost immediately, whenever, to the out of district differential that we've talked about and wait until September to do the overall bump.
I would say our costs do go up every year.
Yeah.
And we, like, whenever I show you that graph that shows like the difference between, you know, how much we supplement the pool and such, if we don't raise our rates on a regular basis, that line just gets further and further to where we're supplementing more and more and more.
I don't think any of us are arguing against that. I think it's just a matter of timing, doing that in May or June, right after. Either way, because if the election goes well, or, you know, if it passes, then it's like, okay, it passed, here's your money, but now gas give us more. And if it doesn't, it's like, okay, well, you guys didn't pass, so I think either way, the optics aren't great. If we do it right that soon, I think the out of district should happen right away, or as ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, just the clarity and the nuance of that. Making sure that folks understand that their rates aren't going up. This is geared toward out of district. Again, I just in speaking with folks going to, you know, it was just at the Lions Club, you know, I mean, just that nuance, I think it's a real thing. You know, and I get it, I mean, but it just, I don't want to give anyone an offering.
Well, so we discussed the topic of in-district rates you know, a few months ago when we were working on the FAQs and defining stuff for people. And so I think it would be consistent with what we said already to do the standard increase that we said we would do at the timing that it would generally happen,
Which is September.
which is September, correct? But then, you know, to your point and others, do the
Yeah, is there a way to do the other districts sooner?
change.
There is, it is, I think. From a staff perspective, we would rather do it all at the same time. I think that it's kind of a little bit confusing for the customers, it's confusing for the staff, we have a lot of lifeguards and, you know, 16-year-olds and such running everything there. And then we'd have to update our point of sale system, we'd have to print signs twice. So it's really nice to be able to do it all at one time. I mean, it's possible, it's just, it's more work and more confusing. But I understand where you're coming from there. I mean, we can do it, it's just not as,
I'm just passive. I mean, it's just the feedback I hear, and that's a question I've had multiple times. It sounds like you have too, and you did at West Side too. So these questions about the out of district rates have come up multiple times. And so I think that the sooner the better, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But I think also optic wise, I think it's also a little odd to be asking. I know we're supposed to, and I know we should in
Yeah.
September, but to our own in-district rates. But I'd stick to that
I
schedule.
mean, we can manage it, and really, it would just be this one year, I would
Right,
not say that
exactly.
this is something we would do in the
100%.
future, but,
100%. It's just
but.
the timing of the election. That's what makes
Yeah.
it confusing.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I think, you know, September. That's why I'm in favor of September, I mean, and with the words of, you know, there will be a differentiation between. In district and out of district, we're increasing the out of district more, you know, those are all part of our talking points, it's all part of the FAQs. I just would hate for someone to get like half the message, you know, rates are going up. And then they react, and. That's the nuance that I kind of wanna, that's my concern, and I just. Some parts of the electorate are super informed, others less so. And that's where that's why I kind of want to avoid it, you know, and again, because of this May election.
But I think it's just as problematic to not apply the increased differential that we said we would do, and that's in response to public feedback, and not do that for many months.
So he's saying to do the differential in June.
No, he's only September. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the nuance personally. I think that's the
Yeah.
nuance that I'm well happy to say. And if someone's gonna take that misinformation around with it, they're gonna find something else to take misinformation
I
with
agree.
them. So I mean, I think it's more helpful for us, is, you know, if you hear that question out in the public, you go, no, that's, we did this, not that, and that's where we, you know, hopefully we can explain that difference when it happens. I wouldn't not do it because of that nuance you're talking about personally.
Mhm.
I'd say in district, September, out of district immediately or ASAP. That's my 2 cents.
Mike? And then,
Yeah.
I can see it all ways. I do kind of agree with you on trying to do it all at the same time. I can recognize the nuance of doing it earlier and having to maybe battle that in messaging. $3,000 to $4,000 difference between, what'd you say, May or June versus September is nominal in a sense, so I think the nuance does matter somewhat. I'd like the idea of being able to speak to it. Because we're being asked to speak to everything right now.
Mhm.
I mean, personally, I'd like to see it happen probably together, but it really comes up with what everybody thinks, and I know that you're capable of doing both ways, so that's important. So I'm gonna go with how people kind of feel in that regard. I did have one other thought though, which is not for 26, 27, but down the line, 27, 28. Probably your thoughts on research around dual pricing, and if we're getting to that stage of discussion. We know that we can't charge Portlanders more than we charge, you know, legality wise. But being a special district and the like, we probably have the ability to look at target hours, and if we are really jam-packed in, there could be a higher pricing rate, which still keeps the differential. And maybe there is some money to be gained there and easing some other times. We didn't really talk about that before, and clearly there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I would just like to throw that out for another
Like
rate structure.
surge pricing.
Exactly, to discuss probably, you know, this time next year or something.
I mean, we already do that, you know, with our, user rates for, you know, and things like that, so. And I do know that there's a lot of places that have different sessions, you know, that, and different,
Yeah.
Yes.
Good to meet you.
people look at a lot of different tools, they don't. You know, lap swimmers pay a different amount than someone doing, you know, water aerobics or someone doing, open swim, there's lots of different. Ways to do it, different things, but, we're happy to study that, but probably, like we say, another year.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanna go through, May. You know, I mean, that's like, anything else to me is, and especially talking about. You know, what people conceivably could pay, and I know the talking point is, out of district should pay more. And fully support that and the pricing and the differential and all of it.
I feel like if we don't make the out of district change sooner rather than later, it's like, oh, we're leaving money on the table, sort of. And I guess, you know, I'm not on the ground, the staff having to implement the changes, but I do wonder how much it realistically is. Because I would think it would cost much less in time than the money that it will make up. I mean, I also wonder, can the signs, you know, it's a little. I don't know, maybe it's not very professional, but yes, like.
Use a Sharpie or whatever, right?
Yeah, the out of district until we get the signs printed in September. That actually that look nicer, like, are there ways that we can implement that sooner, but not have it be too hard to implement? While keeping the in district just the same, change them at the normal
Yeah.
schedule.
I mean, if we do increase the out of district in May and we wait till September for in district. If we hear from anybody about it, it's gonna be the out of district people that are not necessarily. Voters, yeah, they're definitely not voters, but they're not really as engaged in a lot of ways regardless, so. Can understand that as well. So if Mark feels like that is something that's feasible with whiteout and sticky notes.
We'll make it.
Then,
I
yeah.
mean, I will say that the out of district voices, and I know that they don't vote. But have been incredibly positive, supportive, and I know that that's a micro of the, you know, that user group. And that, you know, so they're going to be geared toward something. I think that goodwill bleeds over into other parts of the county and the electorate. I mean, even today, the letter to the editor supporting everything was not a Hood River resident. And so I, you know, again, and I'm not trying to placate them or play to them, because they will play more, period. And that's 100% and the 50%. I mean, all of the math, I'm all on board with. I just, I mean, there's the money on the table. That, you know, I got pigeonholed by someone about cost centers and profit and loss and revenue, and I just, that it's a public good. I mean, anyway, I have a different philosophy about it. And that's fine. And again, I felt no qualms about contradicting him immediately and forcefully, because you're not gonna support something like, so thanks. But I don't know, again, it's this election. And that's all I think.
But we are all on the same page of not raising in district rates before September, right? Okay. Okay. Common ground there.
Well, and, I mean, okay, so let's talk about the in-district rates. I'm all for maybe not even raising them at all. I mean, if we pass, you know, let's think positive,
For at
we
least a
pass
year.
this. I mean, you know, we're gonna be breaking ground in, you know. Sometime not so far in the future, we're talking about a minimal amount of gain in terms of income. If we close, you know, if the pool is then shuttered at a point in 2027, that might be too soon, but I mean. That's kind of my mentality. If we're gonna be closing the pool, we shouldn't raise in-district rates.
So I would put out there that I think that if you want that to be a topic for us to discuss, we should plan to discuss it, because we did already discuss that and came to a conclusion as a board. That we would raise them, but only by the standard amount, and so I don't. Think it's a good use of time to rehash that
Okay.
right now.
I agree.
We're also writing budgets right now, and this is, it doesn't make that big of a difference, but it does make a difference in our budget projections that we're putting out there. And so right now, we're working on the guidance that we were given to raise the standard amount. So that would change things in the budget, in our revenue projections, if we could make that change back.
Okay, so I think we have fairly general consensus about the in-district piece. I think we're. Maybe we have at least the majority on one side versus the other for the other piece. In terms of logistics here, are you gonna need an actual motion for anything here?
That would actually, I probably don't need one, but it actually would probably be good right now, just so that I know that I've got clear direction and a vote on it, because I don't wanna go off consensus when I'm not quite sure what the
Right.
consensus is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, so I motion to raise the in-district rates no sooner than September. Or in September. For the in-district, because we're just doing the in-district
We'll
separate.
do it one at a time.
Yeah. I wanna do them both at the same time?
well, I think they're kind of related, but I think everyone's on the same page there, so that's, we can make that motion, so look at second.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And make another motion to now up the in-district rates as soon as possible. Is that fair? To whatever? Oh, sorry. Yes, yes, the out-of-district rates as soon as you guys can do it,
Well,
essentially. Whether that's June, do you want us to set dates?
I would
Do
be,
you want us to say July 5th, June
I
15th?
would like to say June 15th. The reason is that we need time to put it out there, we need to have advertise it and everything,
And that May break is too soon, so you want June 15th? Would that be the most reasonable for you?
I think that it's the best time for customers and for everyone
All
to
right.
do the fact that we started a new.
I make a motion to out-of-district rates on June 15th
I second that.
to apply to 50% differential.
Any further discussion and stuff? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. Or nay? Nay.
Alright, that gives me direction, so,
Just a pause here.
Yep.
So we had the item, the budget committee member. Do we need to go back to that and? come
what,
back,
you know
or
what, my slides are out of order, why don't I go ahead and put it on up
Okay.
here and we'll do that one next.
Okay.
Budget committee member, so we had one vacancy, that was, thanks to, Brian Hackett, being, resigning his seat there to take an elected report.
Yeah.
And so, we opened up, we did do a press release in the newspaper, we advertised it, on, social media and I think we put it in a newsletter. We did get one, applicant, and that is, Chris Carlin, who, we know from the advisory, council. And, as far as, he's not qualified to do financial numbers, but other, looking at his LinkedIn profile, he's a retired banker, and he is actually already sitting on another budget committee right now. Anyways, he is.
Yes.
So we just need a motion to, accept, or to, appoint him to the budget committee. It's a 3-year term.
I make a motion to appoint Chris Carlin to the budget committee, 3 years.
Strong second.
Nice. Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will, a couple other aquatic center items. The schedules. Another piece of board direction, that I just need a little clarification on is the board did say that, that if the levy does not pass, that the pool will be closed, 1 to 2 days per week. Staff is setting up the swim lesson schedule right now, and people are asking, about that and such, and this, depending on which day of the week it is, it could change whether or not we can offer certain swim lessons. And so, I did talk to, Ally, our aquatic supervisor today. We have the option, we did say 1 to 2 days per week, and so we could do something where we decide 1 day per week during the summer, and then we would move to 2 days per week during the school year, or something like that. Or we could just consider it as the 1 day a week, or we could do 2 days per week, it's up to the board, but the board has given the direction, so what we are looking for. Is to know for the summer season, which day of the week that would be. Now, I did ask, Ally also for a, recommendation. And she hemmed and hawed, and there was a lot of, well, this would be good, oh, except for this, and this would be good, except for that, there's no perfect one, there wasn't some one day that like stood out more than any others. At first I thought that it was going to be a weekend and be Sunday, because the weekends we are open less hours, and so it would be the least amount of hours. And Sundays is our day that we usually, bring in the least amount of revenue, that we were kind of suggesting that before. But during the summer, she was just like, well, we could actually do weekend swim lessons if we had Saturday and Sunday. And offer that, and if it was Monday, then we could move our lessons to Tuesday through Friday for the weekday ones, and then have the weekend ones of that, and so it would just be on Monday. So she said, as far as she would have to move some things around on the schedule, but she said probably, the least, impactful, to swim lessons especially, would be, a closure on Mondays. Yeah, and so that was her recommendation, but she did change her mind 3 times in that. We went all around, it's, you know, it's tough, everyone, you know, we're busy in the summer, people want to leave it, but I think, you know, if we don't pass the levy, it's one of the things that I think we've. So that is going to be an impact, I think we'll need that, understand that.
I think Monday in the summer and Sunday, Monday in the fall, if you need to do 2 days. That's my 2 cents.
I'm definitely for Monday, given the fact that 70–80% of the staff are high schoolers, they can work on weekends, matters a lot. And I would, you know, deeper dive, wanna know the demographics using, even if there were lower numbers on like a Sunday, because I don't wanna be unequitable in so many regards, but Monday makes a lot of sense, I think, for a bunch of those reasons, and if Ally feels that way too, I'm at least comfortable with that.
I feel very similar to you, that Monday for now, but I want more data to make a longer term decision, so like like Monday for the summer, and then can we?
Yep, we're not asking
If
for.
we get there.
Yeah.
Is there a sense that, you know, the pool is open so many hours in a week? Let's just say, for easy math, 70 hours in a week. And is there, so I'm gonna not do the math right now. So we're talking about dropping 1 day, so that's, you know, or 2 days, so that's 50 hours. Is there a sense that, you know, having it open all 7 days, but for 50 hours,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So we're about, you know, and I'm not saying, cause it, you know, my thought is that if there's having the pool sit empty, you know, it still has to be heated, it still has, you know, the circulation system, it doesn't make sense to maybe look at that. And it's just, it's an hours reduction of 1 to 2 days.
Yeah.
But then it's, you know, we do, you know, 7 to.
I think this came up before though, and then you say that the days where it just makes more sense, or saved a lot more money to should be shut down for the day, that we brought this up.
Yeah, it's kind of the same theory as if we close earlier, each day, we're still heating and treating the pool of those times too, so it doesn't really save us anything on that. Staffing wise and logistically wise, it's easier there, the hard thing with pool and with a lot of Parks and Rec stuff is there's the time in the middle of the day. Is the time that's not used as much, like if we could, and you do see it sometimes, I have seen pools that are open in the mornings, they close at 10 AM, they open again at 2 PM in the afternoon. But really hard on our scheduling and everything like that and trying to find people. Now you've got people that you're trying to do like a 4-hour shift over here, and you got people at this other shift over here and such. It's doable, but it makes it harder on that. The other good thing about a full day closure is it's a good rest period for the pool. For filters to kind of catch up and things like that, and then from, just have like a full 24 hours of nothing happening in the pool or stuff. That's something for to put that, and also for maintenance. For, we could start scheduling like all of our backwashing of the filters on that day that we close and things like that, but we're not affecting the public and such, so that's. Oh, it's okay.
It brings up another good point as well that I would just like clarification on. If we're talking about closing on Monday, we are talking about closing on Monday, because I do know that Masters gets in before anybody else in the morning, and they are, I mean, a pretty tight closed loop. They can handle and they can guard some of their own things with parameters set up, but it does undercut the equitability again. If, well, we're closed to the public, but this group can afford to come in and do these things. And it undercuts some of those messaging of letting the pool reset and not using additional chemicals or things. And that is a tough nut to crack when they are like, well, we can do our own thing. But what are we talking about as a board when we say we're gonna close on a Monday? I mean, we're gonna close on a Monday, and that's what I think we meant with everybody feels the pinch.
Does that normally happen when the
That's what
pool's
I-
closed?
That's, yes.
Like, does Master Swim use it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk that it's, the whole point of this is is that it was supposed to, we wanna make sure. Not to say that, put it this way, but I guess everyone feels it. It's not just one group that's having to suffer, or two groups that have to suffer, but this one doesn't have to. And it sucks that it's gonna, but hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully the levy just passes.
Agreed.
But, if it doesn't, I mean, it should be felt across everybody and the shared burden of the loss of it. So yeah, I don't think that they should.
It was one of the two
So-
kayak days.
Yeah, and we can move.
They would
stuff
just switch
around.
it, but that's why I say Monday, and then I
I mean-
said if we had to do 2 days, I think one day should be a weekend, just because of the balance, but not anytime soon.
Yeah.
And hopefully never, but really, I'm just, if Ally says Monday, I'm gonna trust her, and if, we all talked about before, Monday making sense, and we're just kind of following up on that, so. I don't really think we need to reinvent the wheel.
Okay, so Monday for the summer and then reevaluate.
Yep.
If we need to.
Depending on the day.
If the levy
Yeah.
doesn't
If the
pass,
levy doesn't pass.
When-
Yes,
if,
it's gonna pass.
I think so too.
That's right.
All right,
Gotta put
love
it
it.
out there.
One more little pricing thing here. The discount swims or the dollar swims that we offer once a week. And so for at least 15 years, it's been a dollar swim. It is 1 PM to 5 PM on Saturdays right now during this time of the year, and so it's a huge 4-hour open swim block. But it is super popular. I mean, a lot of people. I'm sure that there are families that can't afford to bring their entire family to the aquatic center on a regular basis, and they wait for the dollar swimming, which is when they do come. So there's an equity piece to it, and we really like having that there. That being said, if you can afford $5 for a family of 5, maybe $10 for a family of 5, or $7.50 or whatever. Just been looking at this for a long time, that there are people also schedule birthday parties during this time and such too, where they'll have, invite the entire second grade class at May Street or whatever, and they can pull off a birthday party for $30. And plus the price of the birthday room if they decide to rent that. And so, there's not, anyways, I wanted to take a look at it just because it's been this way for a long time, and it is a big block of time. Now during the summers, we do move this from Saturdays to Wednesdays, I think, yeah. But it's still, whether or not we should have something like that, that's like an entire block. And right now during the school year, we really only have 2 open swims per week, Saturday and Sunday. And one of them is only $1 for every single person. There's no difference between in district, out of district. There's no difference between kids, seniors, adults. It's just a buck per person.
Didn't you say it's every other weekend?
No, it's every weekend, every Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know. it happened.
also, I'm kind of like, well, why on Saturday if that's already the busiest day? You think about like the surge pricing concept, like shouldn't it be on a slower day, even if it's still on a weekend day, like having on Sunday?
We only have open swims on the weekends during the school year.
So
Yeah.
maybe on Sunday instead of Saturday,
Yeah.
Saturday's busier.
We wouldn't do a dollar swim like during a time when we've got like lap swimmers and swim team going on too, because it brings in so many people. And so we would just set it up on just the open swim times. I mean,
Okay, I'm
because
just asking between Saturday and Sunday, why
Oh.
it's Saturday instead of Sunday, and maybe that's just
I-
a level of detail we don't need to get into, but
I
Sunday's a slower day.
can't speak to it, I don't know.
It's just, that's the way it's been.
Yeah.
That's the way it's been.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it being on a Sunday if that's a quieter day. I
Mhm.
love Costco hot dog price not going up. I have talked with multiple families that have told me that that's how they access the facility. And that they would definitely reconsider what that looked like if they didn't have that opportunity. So maybe the dynamic pricing is how much the party room costs to rent on that day. For
I
birthday
think
parties coming in.
that, for sure.
That's sure, you can get in for $1 and bring the second grade class, but it might cost them twice as much to get the party room on that day, because it's coveted.
I'd say move it to Sundays, but that seems like the no-brainer one to do, in my opinion. I don't understand why not, because that's one of the days that hits a lot of the population who. That's like the one day they get to come is on Sunday, and if they can come for a cheap, sweet, and everyone else, other people can go on Saturday, we'll pay the normal rate, because people are gonna go on Saturday no matter what, aren't they? I mean, isn't the numbers just generally solid on a Saturday in general?
Yeah, and there's also the concept of rentals for swim meets and water polo and things like that, depending upon the time of the year, and
Yeah.
they take a Saturday, right? And they've consolidated that down, so their events happen in that way, but if you're missing out on, again, the equitable piece,
Sunday.
it's not usually a Sunday that happens, so moving to a Sunday does
Yeah.
kind of make sense to continue.
Because the swimming are only.
Yeah, we're gonna really
That
make the
makes
wave tonight.
everything for events.
I'd say Sunday makes a lot of sense.
So, Mike, you're kind of suggesting that we keep it at $1 or whatever.
I would love to, at least for the time being, another year
Yeah.
plus
Mm.
with my druthers. I got it, maybe it needs to go to $1.50.
That is.
Really?
I would think-
Really high.
Everything's 175 there.
Oh my God.
You can't really get anything for that.
I know, and it may have to go up, but I do think that it's worth recognizing that it just has value to it, and if we have an outdoor splash pad for really little kids, I mean, I believe that's building into. And that's once we get our new facility and everything else, and that's what we have year round, it doesn't cost you anything to access.
Presuming if we do this, if we do move it to Sunday, can the Sunday be $1 and then we make the Wednesday one on the summer 2? Would that make sense?
Probably just have to be the same
I
for messaging.
think one discount swim per week is probably.
No, when the summer starts, when the summer one is a Wednesdays, that one
Oh.
should be $2, but I think the Sunday one could just always be a $1 Sunday swim day. I don't know, it's kind of a fun
Yeah.
thing to pitch too. Yeah, winter Sunday, yeah, come swim on a Sunday for $1 in the winter, like, what do you do it all winter long? And then the summer pricing is $2, cause Wednesday is pretty nuts there. And I think you could easily double the money at least, which is still gonna be minimal versus the normal rates, but I think that could be 2, but then so I know it's complicated because you have 2 different prices, but I like the idea of having a $1 Sunday for all winter long, for all the locals who live here who want somewhere to be and get some exercise.
It's possible.
So that would be my,
Yeah, that would seem too difficult.
Yeah.
So then there's also the question, if let's say we come to a consensus about that, essentially what you just proposed, the out of district piece. Right, do they get whatever the highly discounted price is, or do they pay normal admission price, that they would pay out of district?
I can see that.
I'm gonna be a broken record.
fighting for those out of districts.
No,
Oh,
No,
my
I'm
bad. That's not a broken record then.
no, change in pricing.
Oh.
And in district and out of district, just trying to stay focused on messaging in May. And that, I mean, again, discussing that, and I know we can, but discussing this in June, my mindset completely changes. Irrespective of what the result. But just right now, like, just. Okay,
But I think they're having to figure out pricing for the summer budget stuff, so that's why I kind of.
That's why I did
Yeah,
it, but it's
right.
not, like, honestly, the dollar swim, it's not that, it's not going to change much of the revenue projection, it's kind of rounding error sort of thing.
So we can come back to this later?
We can, yeah, and
I
uh,
think we should.
yeah. Yeah, why, not- for now, let's, we can, keep it, keep it the same, and then, yeah, another time, we'll bring it back.
So will we begin charging out of district people, out of district price on those days?
We can't talk about that another day then.
Oh, well.
I think it should just.
I think Brian was saying, like, let's just not to do any pricing changes or decisions right now.
But we just said that we would be changing out of district rates June 15th. So I guess will we come back to this by June 15th then to answer this question?
This has always been $1 for everybody across the board.
I know.
You're right,
No.
but
And maybe you're starting to check IDs and maybe
Yeah.
more on top of that at the front. I mean, you should have a blanket rule. I mean, it should be the same for other district people, or they should have to pay for the.
It will be a huge difference of like for a kid coming in, and I mean, I'm just imagining
Yeah.
a parent bringing two kids, one of them's like, oh, I don't live in the district or whatever, and they, one of them is $7.50 and the other one's $1. At the same thing, it's a pretty huge differential. I'm just thinking of like the different front desk. We're already talking about all the logistics of like what the front desk is going to have to deal with this stuff, because a lot of people, they don't bring their IDs, they're walking in their swimsuits, they don't have their parents with them. How strict are we gonna be? What are we gonna do on all this stuff? And this, the dollar sum one, I know would be difficult for staff on that big of a differential, but. I mean, maybe it's the same differential that we say of like $1.50, the 50% differential for an out of district person, if, you know. We just keep that same differential for the dollar, it's not full price, but it's the same differential.
Two versus three is a little easier too.
A buck in district.
Yeah.
2 and 3 is a little easier too if you go the $2 swim in the summertime.
Yeah.
For the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like we're kind of, I mean, we have a variety of different opinions on this, but I'm kind of getting the sense that I think we can all get behind the idea of we'll keep this pricing for now, but we're gonna reevaluate this after the election.
Yes.
Okay.
No worries. Okay, that was it for strategic planning. Finance report. And so, yeah, finance report, the general fund, 99%, I keep on telling you, it's gonna be 100%. Not quite there yet, but still, the general admission for the pool, I think is gonna be the one that pushes us up over the top there. Also the final admin charge for recreation will definitely push us there, so we'll be over 100% on the revenue collection soon enough. 69% expenditures right now is where we're at for our general expenditures, which is right about where it should be. We're gonna be close on the general funds this year, which is exactly what you wanna do with a budget, and ideally, you know, 100%, that means you do good projecting. So so that's all coming along well there. Any questions so far on, oh, sorry, this is recreation fund.
Yeah.
But same thing there, so.
On the discussion we were doing before, we are not discussing the banners question, is that correct? Pricing for the banners.
No. Did you,
I just had written down things I knew that were kind of questions, so.
yeah, I don't, the banners we actually did do, I looked in the budget before, again, we did a fairly substantial increase this year on the banners. So it's over $355 per banner next year, which is about 30%.
Banners go from March to March, so
Yeah.
that won't take effect until next March.
Yeah,
Because I just did the bill in March 1st for this.
yeah, so we do have some time that we could still talk about that.
Okay.
Well-
Then yeah, I wanna come back to that with the. Or then something.
At a different day.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
under the general on the previous page, the furniture and equipment, which was over 400%, was that just like one singular item that kind of really push that sideways, or is that something else that's gonna be broken out later? It's only 15 grand over, but I was just.
Full
since it's
blankets.
that far, oh, so that was it, they really just.
It was,
pushed
that was
up.
an unforeseen expense, yeah, like
Yeah.
we didn't plan for it, but
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they started to disintegrate and you're like, gotta do it now. Okay.
Sorry, so I'm not, I must have actually scrolled the mouse because I was just like, started talking about general fund and then I was just like, why am I looking at? recreation fund? So thank you for confirming that I'm not crazy and it just, nothing left of me. So. Yep, okay, so any questions here on, okay, so recreation fund. Recreation fund, again, 65% revenue, so this one makes more sense now. 65% revenue, about where we're at right now, 69%. Which sounds good that we're, you know, these two are matching pretty well, but there is the recreation admin charge that has a final payment that'll be coming out on that one as well. And so, and then I don't. No, okay, so so that one will be, this one will continue to, the expenses will continue to grow on that one as well.
Why what's the reason why it's so low right now? Is it just not, people aren't signing up, or 45% of the budget of the recreation programs?
Yeah, and I think we over projected how much we were going to be bringing in the last year, and then there was about close to $100,000 less that we brought in overall revenue because of the youth soccer, lacrosse and flag football going directly to the school district. So that's a good portion of it. But of course, there'd be expenses on the other side there, that's not going on as well for the program expenses back, so the actual difference to our budget is about $30,000 to those.
If there is a good time to discuss, I don't know if it's now, how's it going over with the recreation staffing, with the understanding that the board talked about prior with the need to pass the levy and what it looks like through the summer if that doesn't pass? I mean, these are the numbers we see of what people are doing, but how's the morale and how's just the understanding of what we can and can't control?
I mean, we have a good professional staff, but I mean, there are people and there is, you feel it, everybody feels it, and not just with those staff people, but the other staff as well. We are being, you know, very, you know, open with everybody there. We've got the, you know, staff meetings that afterwards with everybody there and talked about it with the whole staff, but yeah, it's a tough spot to be in with everyone. So I would say that morale is lower right now. We're trying to stay focused though on the work that we need to do and getting out there and telling our story and such. It's just during this time when there's just kind of all the unknowns and not knowing what's going to happen, I think everyone's a little bit on edge.
You know, I don't know, holding your breath.
Yeah. Yeah. We're talking about that today, that we're pretty much at the 1 month point. How was the loyal lead? Back to this is our last board meeting before the election happens, so the next time we meet would be the day after the election. And so
Do we want to adjust the time meeting to allow for results?
no. I mean, we'll be meeting again with the budget committee very soon afterwards. The way that I think that we could adjust it right now, because there's Memorial Day weekends, that come that weekend afterwards there, so we'll lose that Monday, and then we have a budget committee meeting on that Tuesday. And I think I'd like to meet with the board before the budget committee meeting. And so it would be either we'll meet on Thursday or Friday, which will give us another day. Which is okay, but I'll be in Las Vegas on the Friday before other weekend, so it's either covered Tuesday or Thursday. It's a very odd time. Between the election, the holiday, and then us trying to squeeze in the budget committee and all of that stuff. Plus, we're actually closed that week. That will be one of our shutdown times. So we're planning on putting the pool covers on on actually, we're talking about doing, or taking the pool cars off there on election day, what we're thinking about doing.
Could be an amazing day or.
Yeah.
Most of the results are posted by late
It's just.
Tuesday
close.
night. Yeah,
Tuesday,
just that
and
it's
then
down to
four P M on Wednesday will be the
fine.
the,
mail.
not quite the final, but a lot of the mail stuff
Yeah,
will already be there, but mailed into Hood River, they'll have it by that date.
yeah.
So there's
So
a,
I think we'll know, I mean.
Unless it's really
super,
close.
Super, super close.
Yeah,
which isn't a good sign.
yeah,
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Could be a good sign if it's on our side.
well,
Yeah,
you still win, you win.
Okay.
By a ton, but.
W is a W. But, yeah, I was just trying to think about. it.
Yeah.
I understand where you're like, I agree with you in theory and spirit, I guess, but,
Champagne, just be like.
logistically, trying to figure out like how to, make it all work.
Yes, yes.
It's,
Understood.
that's pretty, that's rather just take it settle down. And then STCs, not too much has changed there from what we talked about last time, but, yeah, just the outside, urban growth boundary money's looking a lot better. And we're hoping more for the inside UGB and with the spring building season, hopefully we'll see where this comes in.
There's a lot of, lots in Odell.
Oh,
With the for sale signs on.
yeah,
Really interesting.
yeah,
I'm not. Just, if,
well, maybe that's where people are building.
Like empty lots, buildable lots, or
Yeah.
community homes?
Where, what part?
Huh.
in the, just where the, where you, it's
The
that,
new,
the, where
the
the.
Ponderosa one, or?
No, but it's, well, it's where the cluster of houses is, I mean, that's
Yeah.
a big neighborhood where we have our park.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Everybody else sounds good.
But then there's like more toward, the road. Coming into Odell. There's a bunch of really nice signs, bunch of, they're parceled out, they have, looks like they have utility hooks up, coming out of the ground, there's at least 6 or 7 of them. Decent, very big lot.
Can we do next week, no, there's one.
But I mean, it is, for years, the city was always double what the county brought in, and right now the county's at, almost $45,000 more than what the city has. So, that's, I mean, that's just not all, for the county to have. Yeah, the city. So, yeah, that's where the development's happening right now.
Does, having a big project like the Marriott slow down the development of smaller parcels?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Whenever the county plan or the city's planning staff is small, there's not many of them.
Yeah.
And so, I remember when May Street Elementary was built, we saw like no residential construction happening. It was because it was kind of all hands on deck working on a bunch of the permitting and stuff
Yeah.
around that. And then all of a sudden they started processing permits for all this other stuff. But it's also, no one's really doing, smaller developments right now. A lot of these years where we've seen good money coming in on that is the years where, Mega Kits is building, 30 homes, out by West Side School or whatever, you'll see like these little things happening, or when the Cedar Crop development, the phase 3 of Mountain Vista,
Yeah.
phase 4 of Mountain Vista was going in, and you'd see all, Curtis Homes and a lot of these places would go out and buy 10 lots and build, build 10 lots in the summer and such. 10 lots is $60,000 in SDCs. So,
Now that Marriott's off the table, is the condo idea there, did that get us more money?
yes, it would. No, maybe not. It depends, because the condos would probably be less units than hotel rooms.
Yep.
We get more money for condos than we do for hotels, but they can probably pack more hotels in, so, have to do the math.
Yeah,
right?
it might net out.
And it might not happen, yeah.
Cause that was on Monday, I spoke to the city council and they were expecting the mops and just with all the people there, and it was just me and the Dark Skies crowd. Because the Marriott pulled the permit, Monday morning, I think, Monday afternoon. So by the time the city council met, it was very quiet. But still had a great meeting, unanimous support for.
A lot going on. We're happy.
Yeah.
Can't
Unanimous
Let
support.
myself
We
another time.
passed the resolution unanimous.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Alright. So,
Yeah, so, that's SDCs and, no change at all in the improvement fund. So, couple of things, I know I didn't print the director's report, but I just had a couple other things to bring up here. One is the district informational newsletter hit the mailboxes last week. It was not supposed to last week.
Oh.
We had scheduled it, for, to get right around the time the ballots were coming out. The mailing company that we're working with, took responsibility and said, we're so sorry, and they, are willing to try and make things right with us, so they gave us a couple of options. They said we could either send this exact same flyer right back out again on the date that we requested it go out. Or we could do a postcard. Kelsey was actually able to negotiate this. There was kind of two options, was that, or they'd give us $2,000 off our next order, which is a lot, is less. And so Kelsey said, well, what about a postcard, in a couple of weeks? And they said, yes, they could do that too. So they would be willing to do a postcard. And so we thought about doing something. Of course, we can't advocate for measures, but we could remind people again and just have like a remember to vote. Not telling them which way to vote, but just a remember to vote that goes out, maybe, a week and a half before ballots are due or something like that. And maybe has like a very smaller version that just does like, what our items are on there or something like that. So thought we'd get board direction. We're gonna give the mailer our feedback on what we would want, and so just thought I'd see if the board had an opinion on either resending this whole thing again, or a postcard, or a $2,000 credit, which pays for the part of
I think
it.
postcard sounds perfect, especially, I mean, this is a happy accident, really.
Yeah,
You agree?
Okay, sounds good. That's what we're working. Sounds good.
Yeah.
thank you.
good job, Kelsey.
Then in the postcard, is it gonna be geared more towards just voter turnout?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right, and probably with some information to like QR code.
That's what I'm
Measure.
thinking, like, remember to vote,
Mhm.
and then whatever we can put about it, and then additional info.
Mhm.
That's the last day to register to vote.
It's the day before the election. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
And on that topic,
Okay.
someone told me that they have someone they've known for years and years who has never been a registered voter and is registering because of this election.
Yeah.
To support it.
Yeah.
So, that was-
To support.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna go out canvassing, next week and with a Latino person, so out in Odell. I'm excited about that, just cause it's not like something that we do often, and even though as active as I am, it's still like, you know? So you get to see, but she wants the pool really bad, cause she spends a lot of time with her grandbabies there. I mean, that says a lot to me.
Yeah. Is there value to put a web link or a QR code that leads to voter registration on a postcard? Say, I mean, if that's what we're encouraging, voting.
Yeah.
Maybe, I will say that, I did check the analytics on our, QR code to see if there was a spike on the day that it came out, and it was a very small spike. I was hoping it was, but it was a few extras.
It's informational.
It is.
I mean, I got
Well,
it and I was like.
That actually told me that we did a really good job explaining everything on it, people didn't need to click on there, so on a postcard, that does not have much information, we might get a much more spike. We were kind of debating, because we wanted to have like different QR codes for different things, there is one on the other side, I believe, there too. And we were afraid, like, we didn't want the whole thing to be QR codes where you're blocking one to try and take a picture, so we gotta kind of pick and choose on what we wanna put on there.
A positive reception, everyone I've spoken with have been
Yeah.
super impressed. I thought it was,
See?
my concern was if it would be too dense and then people would be like, too long, didn't read. And
It felt even more like
Yeah.
Navy than when we looked at it the first time. When I came in, I was like, wow, this does look great.
Well, it was changed.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we talked about, but I mean, still.
Yeah. Yeah, it was changed to be simpler, more plain language, but, right, still, it's a lot of information
It landed
to
well.
present.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had, I mean, it's been very positive so far in the public online interactions.
And some of you come at me about the seating.
The what?
There's not enough seating.
Well, they should donate to the foundation's
Well, yeah.
fundraiser.
I was
They
thinking,
should.
well, I was explaining, I kind of explained a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was just, I was like, well, actually, they were more than likely to be more, because there wasn't much now.
Yeah,
Anyway, it was.
they thought the concept didn't have enough seating. Oh, I think it's pretty hard to tell too. with the
You
concept.
know, and I was just, I pointed to the area where, near the competition pool, where
Yeah.
bleachers, but it's just, I don't know, I was like,
Huh.
and then someone else told me it was too small, but I'm like, oh.
I will say, I mean, you guys have been out there on pools too, but we have got an enormous amount of deck space to look compared to a lot of other pools.
Yes.
I mean, I even was at Lake Oswego, their brand new pool a couple of weeks ago, and it's just like narrow when you're walking along between the wall of the build, cause decks, I mean, it's cost money, all that concrete, all that space.
Our pool is awesome for running.
Yeah.
meets. I mean, that is.
Don't say that, you're not supposed to run in the pool.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
So I can whistle.
But just the
Yeah.
management of kids in
Yeah.
this space, I mean, it's just all.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of pools that have like 3 feet between the wall and the water, and not places that have like 20 feet, you know, so it's pretty impressive.
In Minville, we ran, I was at a meet there and they had to slow the meet because kids couldn't get to the plot.
Oh, wow.
It was that constrained, it was,
Yeah.
I think it was in Minville.
Okay, one other thing that I have right there in the director's report, and that's a volunteer appreciation event. We've been talking about doing something like this. We've got so many people that have been stepping up lately. This is just a picture from yesterday, actually, of some of our Tuesday volunteers that are there every Tuesday, redoing the steps right off of Pacific Avenue there, where the intersection is, but Pacific and the highway.
Where the gas station's at?
Yeah, it is across the street from the gas station. So on the way to the college, around that
Okay.
corner right there. And so, yeah, just redoing, some old infrastructure that's been there for a long time. It was just a lot of, rotting wood that was starting to fall apart, and so that's been on our list for a long time. They've been out there, widening it a little bit and, shoring up the edges and redoing a couple of these little steps. But them and then the advisory council, who have done so much in the last year of you know, extra meetings and bringing us a lot of stuff and showing up at all these evening things, just as you guys do. You guys yourselves as the board members being volunteers, we just felt like there's so many people we want to recognize right now. That it'd be fun to do some sort of a volunteer appreciation event. And thinking that maybe we could take a Saturday, after the pool usually closes at 5, so maybe we could do like after the pool closes, we could have something, bring up some barbecues out, barbecue and just kind of an invitation event for the people who have been helping out. Sometime probably in either, you know, late May or in June before school starts. I know that it's difficult timing because there's high school graduations and
Yeah.
end of school and things like that, but you know, if there's some dates people wanted to throw out, if we could do that, if the board thinks that's a worthy thing and a good idea.
Yeah, we're voting on celebrating us. Yeah, the other volunteers.
I know, like, consensus of the board, what do you, like,
It sounds amazing. We should, absolutely, the advisory council, everyone who's put in a lot of hours should absolutely be recognized.
Right.
I don't know if we should vote on it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, it's
Donate
that easy.
Time to coach.
Yes.
So many
Matter.
people.
We're about to do West Side Volunteer Day, so
Right.
capturing names there and, you
Yep.
know, all that too.
So can we do May 30th, the weekend after Labor Day, Saturday, or the Sunday, if it's, as long as it's not
That's
too
Memorial.
late? No, Memorial,
Well,
the
there's 25th.
30th or the 31st, those aren't Memorial Day.
So the 25th is Memorial Day.
Yeah, early Memorial Day this year.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
16th.
That's the last Monday in May, so.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, 30th, 31st means.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
But, yeah, the first 2 weeks in June, there'll be so much stuff going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Either
30th.
end of June, like the 27th, or the
Your
30th of
and
May.
31st.
Yeah, that's a good.
All right. We can go ahead and I'll ask, I didn't ask Ally today about this or anything, but I'm sure. I'm sure it's something, but we'll, we can go ahead and book that and just start planning for that.
Pool covers will have just come off.
Yep.
Hey.
Just celebration of summer and the hopefully we have something summer.
So you'll check with her regarding both days to see which can work better, or just
I
the
just heard
30th?
the 30th.
Oh, okay, the 30th,
Like the other day.
Oh, just
31st.
whether the 31st, if.
Oh,
it's on
that's
a
just
weekend,
Sunday.
but for a Saturday. for
Saturday or Sunday, yeah, I can check them both. Who makes the call? If both are available, would you prefer Saturday? Or is it,
I don't remember, I mean, I'm literally, my calendar's in one.
okay,
Oh,
But, you know, I mean,
go get it,
I
yeah.
prefer Sunday.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, which day would be better for everyone else, which I don't know. You know, for all the hundreds of volunteers, which day.
Yeah.
I think if we did Sunday, we wouldn't want it to go too late, right? Because that's a school night. Then. But,
Sunday.
I mean, a couple hours.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think any,
Five to seven would be too late.
No, I don't
Anyway,
think so.
you know, yeah.
Considering that I'm a night off.
I think it's Sunday 5 to 7, which
Yeah.
sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
some are gonna have to miss it and some will make it, so it's just
Yeah.
the way it is, but
That's not gonna get dark till 9:30, but at stage.
Okay, so shoot for that. Unless there's some problem that being that day, and then we'll see what Brian.
Julie, Brian, don't worry, we're gonna be on it.
all in favor.
it's just, I'm looking at this window here, it just looks like a painting. It's just like.
Just the snow.
Well, yeah, it's all the hillside, the orchard, and it's just beautiful.
it's, I mean, it's there's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, when you're coming up, it's like white
Yeah.
all around.
The mountains closed last weekend, was that right?
Yeah.
So you look great.
So when you stepped out, we kind of.
Agreed.
Thank you though for.
I think. Seeing now, though, it's a little.
I like your old fashioned calendar though. I tried to stick to it and it just outbeat me. Everybody's on it.
Yeah, how do you put calendar invites on it?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
we,
no, good.
are you?
No, we looked at the 31st actually. which is-
31st?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
31st is good, 30th is good.
Great. That was all that I have here, but we were going to the good of the order.
Could we, is there anything about the work party though, or is there?
I did not have anything in the direction report, but I can say that, we have put out an advertisement, on Facebook. We've got to get an invitation, so it is going to be on the 25th. Is it 9 to noon? I think that's it. 9 to noon, bring, closed-up shoes, and yeah, all the descriptions is out there right now. The post got some traction, a few shares, a lot of likes. And so we'll continue to push it out there and social and everything. Staff is just kind of getting ready for it, and yeah, we're excited.
And so what, now that there's more of a plan or a more defined plan, what all will it include for the volunteers to do? What will they do?
Pretty much removing the fencing.
Mhm.
So 2,000 feet of fencing, so we're just kind of cutting that and moving it. There might be a couple of areas where there's a pile of dirt where we'll just, like, if there's some shovels, you can fill the holes and such.
Mhm.
But for the most part, it's we'll have, bolt cutters and things like that, be going along and just kind of cutting, instead, we're not gonna try and salvage it into the barbed wire or anything. I think we're gonna rent a metal bin, and then just cut it into like maybe 6 foot sections or something, and then it's just gonna like bundling it up and just people kind of carrying it off and tossing it in the metal containers. And then pulling the fence posts, so if there's fence posts, the ones that are in the middle there, yanking those. And then our staff will probably work on putting the gates in, so we kind of got 4 different locations for gates identified that will, but maybe one of volunteers to that staff supervision, but we'll put some gates in. So it's mostly fencing stuff. We talked about like what sort of things we could do like for kids and adults and such. Not quite like the tire one. The tire one, I think this one's gonna be I think a little bit more. Kids can come along too, but it's rusty barbed wire, and we don't like the properties does not. I mean, I think that's about what we've identified that we can really get done. We're not really allowed to kind of do trails.
Yeah.
And we might be able to do some weeding, something like that, if there's some noxious weeds and such for things, we'll just be fixing it.
So the fence along the trail is going to stay,
Yeah.
right, but we're removing any fencing that's
Yeah,
in the park.
so it's 2 parcels, so the fence in between the 2 parcels will go. And then there's all sorts of fencing in there.
Yeah,
And almost basically any fencing that's in the middle of the property will go, with the exception of the northwest corner. Has a fenced off area that we would like to just keep, and so that would be also the east, that's like right off the Rocky Road cul-de-sac. And so it's almost like a corral, it's the nicest fencing that's there. And the reason we wanna keep that there is in case we do need to store anything there. If we wanted to put a storage container or things, when the pool is if the pool is if the bond passes and the pool is under construction, then there's lots of stuff that we're gonna have to store someplace. And that's the closest park to that area. It would probably be, that's what I'm thinking is to buy some or rent some Connex boxes and such. And it would probably be down in that area. Probably put some.
Given the timing of the upcoming ballot measures and this event, I'm sure there'll be plenty of photo ops and social media goodness that comes out of it. But given the trail right there and people who will just be passing by who aren't there to help, do we put out a bench with information as well? Just when people go, what are you doing here? Like, what's going on? Oh, hey, this, I mean, can we do anything day of that's gonna benefit us?
Yeah, and we actually also talked about putting a poster together to put on, like laminating a poster and putting that on the fence to start advertising that this event's going to be happening for people that are walking the trail, so people will see that and start coming, so. Thanks for reminding me, that was on our
That's come up in my discussions about why, you have this property in West Side, what are you doing with it? Why can't we use it? And I was like, oh, funny you should say that, we're having this event coming up.
Yeah, we've got some good recommend. Please come help us open the open space. So. Yeah, thanks for reminding me to talk about that too. Now it's your turn. Couldn't be over.
Well, I'll just say, I know everyone's been working hard in the community, so we've all gone to lots of meetings and talked to a lot of people, and I'm just feeling good to order out to everybody, really. That all the feedback, I mean, I wasn't around the last time, so I don't know, but all the feedback I'm receiving is people saying like, man, yeah, I wish we would have had all this information the last time. I know you guys probably did. But that's just the feedback I'm hearing, and so it's like, and I think the feelers are maybe a few more out there, and I think that's helping, and hopeful and optimistic.
and I'll just give a shout out to the Mills family since we're here in this space for their generosity and dedication, particularly Michael Mills, and getting this preserved as a park. Unless we have anything else, we can have a motion to adjourn.
Put forward a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
That it? Take this stuff, right?
Nice.
take care of that,
Right, like, I mean, the photos, those shouldn't go anywhere. No, like, something's gotta be secured, those have to have some. I wanna look at the back of them and be like, who are these people and what date was this taken?
Yeah.